ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
97.3 ESPN has teamed up with Seize the Deal for incredible weekly offers from some fantastic local restaurants. Here's this week's big deal.
Get a $50 gift card good for use at Jester's Dive Bar for just $25.
Get this great deal starting Friday at 9 a.m. at SeizeTheDeal.com. Hurry, chances are this deal will sell quickly. For more info on this great deal, go to SeizeTheDeal.com.
SeizeTheDeal.com.
With all the sports we have, every time of the year is the best time of the year.
And the crowd just buzzing with excitement.
On 97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City, a Town Square media station. This is Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app. Now, live from the Matt Black Kia Studios.
What a move!
Here's Josh Hennig.
We are back from the weekend here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. I am Josh Hennig hanging out with you on a Monday night. Phillies Game One coming up in about less than 2 hours from now. It's first pitch. You hear all the action right here on 97.3 ESPN. But yesterday, you heard the Eagles lose for the first time this season. So we will dive into how and why the Eagles lost, what is going on with their offense, and we will dive into some conversation about the Phillies games tonight. So we got to get that all in here during Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. So a couple things to hit on before we get moving. As always, you can join the conversation at 609-403-0973. Number two, we have been taking qualifiers throughout the day for the next big Sports Bash giveaway. There will be 5 more qualifiers picked from last hour. So if you texted in, please be patient with me. I will get to your texts as soon as I can back on this end because I'm basically doing this by myself. So please be patient with me. I will get to all of you. But the key word for this hour, and we will let you know when the text in coming up in about 50 minutes from now. So the key word to hold on to for this hour is going to be DeAndre Swift. So DeAndre Swift will be the key word this hour. Then you will text in when I tell you to, and you'll have a chance to qualify for Eagles 49ers tickets that will be given away Friday, October 28th at Yuri's Waterfront Restaurant in Wildwood during the Sports Bash broadcast from 2 to 6 p.m. You must be present to win. And as I said, I will reach out to the qualifiers from the last hour as soon as I get a chance to catch my breath here in the 97.3 studios. All right. Let's get to the Eagles game. To me, as I wrote about at 97.3 ESPN.com, for me, yesterday was a very symbolic day. It was a moment where we all realized that this, how I put this nicely, this organization is putting themselves in a position to not be successful. Very clear to me. It is very obvious to me that this organization is not running their offense correctly. Yesterday was a beautiful example, like not beautiful in terms of a good beautiful, but in terms of like it was so clear and precise and in front of you. It was a pristine, clear example of what is wrong with the Eagles right now. They are so fortunate they are 5-1. They're fortunate because their defense and Jake Elliott have basically carried them up to the game yesterday afternoon. It is completely unacceptable, as I said on Twitter last night, at Josh Hennig, or X, or whatever we're calling the social media platform. It is completely, utterly unacceptable that you have an organization in the Eagles that went to the Super Bowl last year, and now all of a sudden doesn't know how to play offense. You had a game yesterday where the Jets were missing 2 of their starters. 2. Not 1, but 2. They were missing 2 of their starters at corner. And lo and behold, you couldn't take advantage. Yesterday should have been a 35-10 or a 28-13 type of game. You should have gotten a lead and just ran out the clock at the end, and all would have been good. But instead, you played with your food and you got bit. It was one of the dumbest things I have ever seen in my life. So dumb. So ridiculous. It makes zero sense to me. They were without Sauce Gardner and they were without DJ Reed, 2 of their starting corners. And before Lane Johnson ever went down, they couldn't take advantage. They didn't run screen routes. They didn't run overlays. They didn't run go routes. They didn't run returns. They ran the most basic, stupid offense on planet Earth. Absolutely, utterly ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's unacceptable. And then when Lane Johnson goes out of the game, everything got worse. Jack Driscoll got whipped yesterday. Furthermore, the Jets did an incredible job, and they deserve a ton of credit because they won the game as much as the Eagles lost the game. I thought the Jets did an amazing job at taking advantage of the Eagles. They went into that game and they said, hey, we are going to try to slow these guys down. We're not going to let them take advantage of our corners. We're going to get after the quarterback. We're going to create pressure. We're going to disrupt the offense. And they did it. And then when Lane Johnson went out of the game, you know what they said? Crank it up. Let's get more crazy. Let's get more after the quarterback. And the fact that they had a chance to win the game at the end is a testament to the Eagles' fortitude and their competitive nature. And of those 3 interceptions that are counted against Jalen Hurts, 2 of them were not his fault. And this is part of the reason why I always tell you guys, the fact that we put wins and losses on the quarterback stat is one of the most dumb things in sport. But I digress. You cannot walk out of that game blaming anyone but the offense. And as I wrote at 973ESPN.com, I point to the coaches. Now, look, there's a ton of statistical reasons why I feel the way I do. Ton of statistical reasons. But at the end of the day, the biggest problem that we saw yesterday was they were unable to adjust in the moment, in the game, and get themselves out of that predicament. It was absolutely mind-boggling. Absolutely insane that this organization cannot get out of their own way. It is absolutely insane that they are being so stubborn about this. And Jalen Hurts can say all he wants about how we got to do better, we got to play better. The players have all the player meetings they want. Because, yes, some of the mistakes yesterday were on them. Some of the players by Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith dropping the ball, Dallas Goedert, Jack Driscoll, tons of guys had bad games yesterday and did not play well. But at some point, Brian Johnson and Nick Sirianni need to have a heart-to-heart conversation and say, guys, we got to be better. We got to do better. To me, it's that simple. And this offense is scoring less points than they did last year overall. They have way more turnovers than last year. They have fewer explosive plays compared to last year. And I point to Sirianni and Johnson. Whoever's calling the plays, whoever's in charge of the game plan, the play calling, and the execution thereof, it's on them. Text board is open at 609-403-0973. DMs into the 973 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. And I got to be honest with you guys, I really wish the Phillies were not playing tonight, because I know some of you like the idea that we're going to turn forget about the Eagles' loss to the Jets and just move on. But I don't want to move on. I feel like this loss was so exasperating, so frustrating, that we need to talk about it till the cows come home. But we can't, because the Phillies play tonight and tomorrow and Thursday and Friday and potentially Saturday. Over on the text board at 609-403-0973. Texter chimes in and says the Jets gave the Eagles the opportunity to score the winning touchdown. They gave them a minute 56 on the clock and 2 timeouts. Well, okay. But that doesn't change the fact that the Eagles didn't take advantage of that. The Eagles never took advantage of any of the opportunities given to them. You just used the word Texter, opportunity. The Eagles didn't take advantage of those opportunities. And, for all the years that we have talked about Jeff Stoutland, and how great Jeff Stoutland is as a coach, and I'm not belittling him, but can we talk about how important Lane Johnson is? Lane Johnson may be the most important player of this franchise of the last decade. This organization seems to be completely unable to function without him. They seem to be completely unable to just do anything productive without him consistently. And the good news is Lane Johnson is not a major ankle sprain. He didn't re-damage any of the parts of his leg and foot from last year's procedure, and then the offseason, or the injury he had last year, which he had the offseason procedure done on his leg. Look, it's a good thing he's going to be okay. But the fact that this organization has not figured out how to handle life without him, and it's 2023. If Lane Johnson retires, let's say the Eagles win the Super Bowl, right? And we're all celebrating, we're all having a good time. And then Lane Johnson and Jason Kelce we're both retiring. Have a good life, guys. Do we really think this Eagles organization is prepared to handle that turnover? Because yesterday we saw, without Lane Johnson, they had no answers. And whose dumb idea was it not to give Jack Driscoll any help on the edge? One more text to get to, 609-403-0973 before we hit the break. Texter says, Eagles and 49ers got caught up in the future games. They didn't focus on the game they needed to. Hopefully both roll into 12-3 with just one loss. Well, I agree with you. I hope they have the same record when they play later this year, because you're right. It'll make that game way better and way more exciting. I don't necessarily think both teams got caught looking ahead. The 49ers suffered 2 pretty serious injuries, okay? They lost Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel in their game, and you could argue the Browns might be the best defense of all football right now. So I think that's what the 49ers lost their game. The Eagles lost their game because they didn't execute. They didn't do their job. I don't think it's looking ahead. I think it's just not doing your job. It's not like college football where teams get caught all the time looking ahead. It's a little different in the NFL. But We'll have to agree to disagree. Josh Hennig here at Game Night 97.3 ESPN FM, 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. Checking more text a little bit later in the hour, but right now we're going to hit the break. Coming up next, Rob Maaddi from Associated Press to talk more with us about the Eagles and the NFL. That's the Eagles' loss, the 49ers' loss. Who's the best team in the NFC? We'll ask Rob Maaddi next here on 97.3 ESPN FM. Josh Hennig hanging out with you on a Monday night.
This is the radio home for Philadelphia Eagles football. It's week 7, and the Eagles host the Miami Dolphins on Sunday Night Football at the Link.
He's hit. He's sacked back across the 20. They got him. Hassan Reddick.
Pre-game coverage starts at 7 p.m. with Merrill Reese and Mike Quick calling all the action starting at 8:20. This is where the Philadelphia Eagles play. 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's official Eagles station. Brought to you by
GMS Law. Make the right call with 4 convenient locations to serve you. Boardwalk Honda. Shop our lineup of new pre-owned and certified pre-owned Hondas online at boardwalkhonda.com. The Fan Zone at Sun Valley Pools. Unique fan gear and gifts for every fan of every team. Cape Regional Hospital, your healthcare partner for a healthier life. Jersey Shore Federal Credit Union. Choose better banking. And South Jersey Gas.
97.3 ESPN FM is your official home in South Jersey for Eagles football.
97.3 ESPN has teamed up with Seize the Deal for incredible weekly offers from some fantastic local restaurants. Here's this week's big deal.
Get a $50 gift card good for use at Jester's Dive Bar for just $25.
Get this great deal starting Friday at 9 a.m. at seizethedeal.com. Hurry, chances are this deal will sell quickly. For more info on this great deal, go to seizethedeal.com.
Seizethedeal.com. There's a whole lot of savings going on now at Staples. During Staples Sit-a-thon, you can save up to $150 on select office and desk chairs. And when you buy a chair, you save 25% on desks, storage solutions, and office accessories. Plus, your local Staples now accepts Amazon returns. And when you return an Amazon order at Staples, you receive a coupon for $10 off your next $30 Staples purchase. Now is definitely the time to save at Staples. Chair offer ends 10/28, in-store only. Exclusions apply on Amazon offer.
Hey, Total Wine & More has all your Halloween favorites at the totally lowest prices.
Economical.
Find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21. With GMF financing, to qualify buyers excludes Corvette, excludes prior sales.
Everybody knows there's no beating Bennett. And right now, we're kicking off our end-of-year sell-down early with our best deals of the year. While most dealers are selling new vehicles at or above MSRP, Bennett's selling new Chevys at GM supplier employee prices. Yes, you pay what our supplier employees pay, not 1 penny more. Save even more with available 0% financing. And during our year-end sale, get our best offers ever on pre-owned vehicles. We'll pay a minimum $10,000 for any trade. Any trade. We don't care if it's got 1 million miles or 1 million dents. You still get a minimum $10,000 towards any pre-owned in stock. Imagine how much more you'll get if it's in good shape. And our non-commissioned sales staff is a delight to work with because they're paid on your satisfaction, not how much you spend. No need to negotiate, no hassles, no haggling. Find new roads at Bennett Chevrolet in Egg Harbor Township and BennettChevy.com.
Oh, this cold.
Honey?
Honey?
Honey, you need DayQuil Severe Honey.
DayQuil Severe Honey gives you powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a honeylicious taste because life doesn't stop for a cold.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
No, I'm getting a cold.
Honey.
Try DayQuil Severe Honey for powerful cold and flu relief. DayQuil Severe with honey flavor. The daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, honeylicious, power through your day medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
It's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, the official sports bar of your Philadelphia Eagles. Here's a winner, fall football, and Chickies and Pete's mouth-watering snow crab legs. For a limited time, buy one and get one free snow crab legs every Tuesday and Wednesday. Enjoy the sweet, delicate flavor of snowy white crab meat dressed in our special blend of seasonings and spices. Pair it with an ice cold draft beer or one of our signature cocktails. Buy one and get one free snow crab legs every Tuesday and Wednesday for a limited time. Restrictions apply. Chickies and Pete's. Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, and we are prouder than ever to partner with the Philadelphia Eagles. Chicky and Pete's has been named the official sports bar of the Philadelphia Eagles, and we continue to serve as the official caterer of both Eagles training camp and the official caterer of the First Trust Bank Club at Lincoln Financial Field. Go where the players go. The official sports bar of the Philadelphia Eagles. Chickies Beats.
Hey, let's get out of here. With Audible, we could root for a lone astronaut as he tries to save Earth from disaster. Maybe go for a run with the founder of the world's biggest sneaker brand. We could get the tea on the real-life media mogul succession drama. Or find out what life is really like for an Oscar-winning actress. I mean, with Audible, we could go anywhere. There's more to imagine when we listen. Hear the latest audiobooks, podcasts, and originals at audible.com.
Hey, Josh Hennig here to tell you about how Jenkins Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has helped your favorite football team. Did you know that over 40 years ago, John Jenkins Sr. invented the heated seat that football players sit on today? Yes, the Jenkins family created a way for football players to weather the extreme cold. Now imagine what Jenkins could do for your home. Call Jenkins for plumbing, drain cleaning, and leak repairs, gas furnace boiler, and hot water heater replacements. Call Jenkins today at 609-641-6262, online at jenkinsandsons.com.
You're listening to and the free mobile app.
We'll get back to your text just a bit. That's 609-403-0973. Your DMs into the 973 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank. And don't forget you have an opportunity to qualify to win Eagles 49ers tickets a little bit later in the hour. Keyword ready coming out about 34 minutes from now. We will get you the opportunity to qualify to win those tickets. You must be present to win at Yuri's Waterfront Restaurant in Wildwood, October 28th. With Mike Gill in the Sports Bash. You must be present to win if you qualify. We'll be taking qualifiers all this week, all next week, here on 97.3 ESPN with Sports Bash with Mike Gill, and here on Game Night with Josh Hennig. Back to the Eagles talk right now in the NFL. It was a weird weekend in the NFL, and it certainly could be just as weird tonight. Rob Maaddi from the Associated Press, he is back with us as we are talking about the NFL. Rob, welcome in from your travels. How you doing today?
What's going on, Josh? I'm getting ready for some NLCS baseball. Game one of the Phillies Diamondbacks series made it in to Philly today on my way to the NFL owners meetings tomorrow. But yeah, you're right. It was a wild weekend. It was a weekend of upsets, and we almost had a third one last night. The Giants, if they knew how to manage the clock a little bit better, should have beat Buffalo, and then you could have had the Eagles, Niners, and Buffalo all lose. But as it stands, the Eagles and Niners both lost. They're 5-1. There's no undefeated teams in football, and Larry Zonka and his teammates from the 72 Dolphins got to pop that champagne again.
Let's start with the Eagles' loss. Rob, I was saying before you came on that for me, I looked at the game yesterday. I felt like the Eagles never took advantage of the fact the Jets were without DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner, whereas the Jets took full advantage when Lane Johnson went out of the game. And to me, I don't know what's going on with this offense. I am so confused why Shane Steichen not being here apparently is like the magic elixir that messed up this team from being as potent as they were last year.
I think it's a combination of a few things, and Jalen Hurts hasn't played his best football throughout the season. We've seen flashes of it. We've seen spurts of it. And then we've seen parts of his game that have taken a little bit of a step backward. And there's been a lot of play calling questions. I think, Josh, I'm looking at that game yesterday, wondering why they're just not pounding, right? You could take advantage of no Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed, but also why weren't they running in certain situations when it looked like they were getting nice pickups and nice gains, and then just turned away from it and just started throwing. There are some question marks there, and I can't believe that it's all Shane Steichen, right? I can't believe it's the offensive coordinator isn't here. All of a sudden, this offense is in complete disarray. I'm sure there was there was chemistry with him in a couple of years with Jalen, but Brian Johnson also been in that building. Brian Johnson is also a guy that Jalen's very familiar with, going back to when he was a kid, and they've known each other his entire life. Some throws are there to be made, and you can't be throwing that 3rd and 9 pass. Just it can't happen. That 3rd and 9 pass that was intercepted was a crucial play. And there was a big drop by Devontae Smith at one point that sticks out in my mind. And we know the history of this team without Lane Johnson. I don't have an updated stat. You can go back to just remembering when I think it was 2016 season, the year he was suspended, right? The 10 game suspension. They started out 4-0, well, no, 3-0. Then they lost after a bye to the Lions on the road. Then he was suspended. I think they went like 2-8 or something like that during his suspension. So he's always been that kind of player. Like he's sort of the unsung hero because he's not as popular as far as personality wise as Jason Kelsey on that offensive line, but he's every bit the all-pro and is a dominant player who hasn't allowed a sack since what was it, week something of 2020 season. He's that important, but the Eagles should have won that game against the Jets. And I don't want to hear about trap game and looking ahead to Miami. And you should have learned your lesson watching. Even if certainly they're preparing for the game and they're not watching, but when you look up at the scoreboard and see that the Cleveland Browns with PJ Walker beat the San Francisco 49ers, that should have served as a little bit of a wake-up call. Hey, any given Sunday, any team can beat anybody. Here we are facing the New York Jets, who've never won against in the history of the franchise against the Eagles. Let's not let down, and they played down.
It's funny you said they played down because you don't think of the Jets as a horrible football team. They've just had some bad luck because of Rodgers getting injured, now Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed, but yes, their record states that they are a much lesser team than the Eagles. So, for you, Rob, do you look at the Eagles' loss yesterday as a bad day at the office or a picture of something larger here?
I think this week will tell the story, right? If they bounce back against a really dynamic offensive Dolphins team on Sunday Night Football in prime time with everybody watching. Now, I think you can throw against Miami. You can pile up some yards and you can score some points against Miami. But it's going to be a shootout. And if they bounce back and win this game, then I'll go and look at it as last week was a little bit of a blip. You weren't going to go 17-0. The Jets caught them on the right day, and they made a couple mistakes. And who expects Jake Elliott to miss a 37-yard field goal, right? Every point counts in a game like that. And if they come out Sunday night against Miami and for whatever reason lose, and depending how they play, if they get torched, then obviously you got problems. If they lose that game and they again make mistakes and hurt themselves, like that, they beat themselves yesterday clearly with the 4 turnovers. So depending how they bounce back against Miami will determine how I can really, whether you put the Jets game in a little bit of a bubble, or if you look at it and say this is a part of a bigger problem, because the schedule's now going to get tougher, Josh. And after Miami and down the road, and you got Dallas and you got Kansas City and you got Buffalo, schedule's going to get tougher. And the Eagles made it through the easiest portion at 5-1. I still think they're trying to figure themselves out and figure out their identity. They made a point to say this isn't the same as last year's team coming into the year, and we got to build our own. Well, clearly you got to build your own identity, and you're not the same as last year's team. And I think this should serve as a wake-up call to a lot of guys against the Jets. Like, hey, we're not good enough to take anyone for granted. If they in any way, shape, or form did that against the Jets, and they got to realize they got to put in that work.
Talking with Rob Maaddi from the Associated Press here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN, at Rob Maaddi on Twitter X platform. Of course, he covers the NFL for the Associated Press. Rob, when you think about the two teams yesterday, obviously they both suffered injuries in game. The Eagles, as we mentioned, Lane Johnson, 49ers, both Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel left during the game. Which team do you think lost more because of the injury versus losing because they didn't take advantage of opportunities?
Well, depending on when Christian McCaffrey, and I know it's an oblique, and they say it's not that serious, but it's an oblique injury. And if that thing lingers and he's out a couple weeks and he's out 3 weeks, and Deebo with a shoulder, those are big crushing losses for the 49ers. Brock Purdy, for as great as he's played, was not Brock Purdy without his top two playmakers. He struggled. Now, you got to give credit to the Cleveland Browns defense and defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz, who we all know so well here in Philadelphia, but they did their job. Myles Garrett and that crew did a tremendous job, but Brock Purdy needs Christian McCaffrey. He needs Deebo Samuel. He needs a full complement of playmakers. Brandon Ayuk's had a terrific season so far, but he's that much better when you have two other guys that got to be accounted for on the field. So I think it's a bigger loss for the Niners, given that those two guys are down, and we don't know exactly how long now. I know Lane is also probably going to be out a little bit of time here. So I think the Eagles are better prepared to handle that with Jack Driscoll and how they do things on offense than San Francisco without their top two playmakers.
Ironically enough, Myles Garrett was the last guy to get a sack on Lane Johnson. So
how about that?
Yeah, November 2020. So just to throw that out there into the universe for whatever people want to do with it. But back to the 49ers, obviously going to play the Eagles a couple months. A lot of people are hoping these two teams have the same record when they clash. You know, all things being equal, Rob, who is the best team in the NFC?
I still think San Francisco is the more complete team right now. But, you know, I was getting ready yesterday when the Eagles are driving for a game-clinching touchdown, right? Or game-clinching just run out the clock. Until Jalen threw that pick, I was ready to say today proved that the Niners are not as good as the Eagles because the Eagles have a quarterback who makes plays and the Niners have a quarterback who can't win without his top two playmakers. And then Jalen goes and throws in that ill-advised pass in a double coverage. And all of a sudden I'm like, well, there goes that tweet, and there goes that sentiment, and there goes that thought right there, because they're not going to win this game, and I can't say Jalen's that. And I still trust Jalen to make more plays than Brock Purdy,
right?
But Brock Purdy may not put the ball in as much danger, although over this season he has gotten away with a few here and there too as well. San Francisco's deeper offensively. San Francisco's defense is also maybe a tad bit, I think you could say even more than a tad bit stronger on a defensive side. I thought Jalen is that kind of that equalizer because he's so dangerous. And when he's on, he's the difference maker between the Eagles and San Francisco. But all things being equal, right now, after the Eagles lose that game and San Fran loses theirs, I still think San Francisco is the more complete team. And I was reluctant, Josh, to put the Lions in the conversation. And then they're in a similar situation yesterday. And I was there at this game on the road against an inferior opponent that has a strong defense. Same thing with the Eagles on the road, inferior opponent, strong defense. 49ers on the road, inferior opponent, strong defense. Niners and Eagles lost. The Lions smashed the Buccaneers. And I thought that was a very impressive win for the Lions yesterday. Jared Goff really impressed me, and he's been impressive all along. But going up against Todd Bowles' defense, and there's some guys who make plays for the Buccaneers, and he put up 353, 2 touchdowns, no picks. They lose David Montgomery. Last week I was like, it's Eagles, Niners, and then drop down to Dallas and Detroit. I'm putting that Lions in the conversation now after just one weekend.
You mentioned Jared Goff. Let me ask you about him because he's a guy who's got a lot of criticism over the years. Is he finally like reaching his potential? Because people might forget he was the first overall pick in the draft in 2016. You know, people forget that this was a guy who got a team to the Super Bowl, but it felt like the Rams basically, you know, kicked him out the door and he was almost a forgotten person.
Yeah, not only did they kick him out the door, they gave him away and had to trade more just so the Lions would take on his contract. And all of a sudden, he's quietly become a top tier quarterback in the NFL over the past. It's now going into his third season. Just talking to some of his teammates, Amon-Ra St. Brown yesterday, who raves about him. Other guys on that team who just rave about his leadership ability, his presence, his poise, his maturity, and his numbers speak for themselves. And I think Jared Goff has learned a little bit, grown a little bit. He's changed. He's evolved as a quarterback and as a player, where he was dependent upon Sean McVay's system and his offensive style. He's showing that he's capable of going there, going to Detroit and really putting up these big numbers and being the guy, because their running back situation is kind of with the injuries, and you don't know who's going to be in, who's going to be out. Now they got talent, David Montgomery, the rookie Jahmyr Gibbs, and they got guys there, but it's really on Jared Goff to get that offense going, and he's been doing that. So kudos to him, credit to him for going from being a guy who was a top pick, who was living up to expectations, fell off the map, was given away, and has bounced back with a dreadful organization and been part of the reason why the Lions are suddenly in the conversation and a contender.
Couple more for Rob Maaddi before we let him go. You said you're at the Phillies game tonight, Rob. Rob, you've covered a lot of Phillies games over the years. Philadelphia right now has the best winning percentage in all of baseball history at Citizens Bank Park at postseason home games. You know, how much do you think that is going to play into a series against a Diamondbacks team that, at least on the surface, looks like they're playing fearlessly?
I think the Phillies should jump out tonight on Zach Gallen, who is a Philly kid and probably has some memories of that 2008-2009 run and might be a little bit awestruck to be in that environment where he grew up pitching against the team that he grew up watching. And you would hope and now he's certainly a Cy Young candidate and a great pitcher, but if they can jump out on him, catch him a little bit off his game, that's going to help them. And then that lets the fans really get going. You mentioned the record, whatever it is, 27-11, I believe, best postseason record, home record for any team, I think, in all of sports, the winning percentage. And it really is amazing. It's incredible. It gets rocking in there. The fans really can make a difference, which in baseball, you don't often think of it being the case. But when you got young guys on the mound or whoever it may be, I've heard veteran guys talk about what it's like. You're just constantly dealing with those fans and the noise they make and the stupid comments and the mean things that they say. And to the guys warming up in the bullpen, like you see that, you hear that. And it's like, I don't know where they come up with it. But it's crazy, it's wild, and it's certainly one of the best atmospheres in pro sports, I think.
By the way, it's you're right, 26-11.
26, not 20. See, I'm already giving them the win tonight, 27. I'm dying to see that. I want that. I want that W. So I'm not the jinx. All right, 26-11. Okay.
All right. So here's the full list really quick. So the Citizens Bank Park is 70.3 winning percentage. Number 2 is a building that's not even around anymore, Rob. Shea Stadium was 26-13 for the Mets. Busch Stadium was 35-18. And for full disclosure, the number 4 team on the list, that Chase Field for the Diamondbacks, 14-8. That's your top 4 best postseason winning spots.
In sports or baseball?
In baseball.
In baseball. Chase Field, how about that at 14-8? Well, that's until the Phillies get there for game 3, 4, and 5 and sweep them out of there, and we'll make that 14-11. That's what I'm predicting. Phillies in 5, which means they'd either lose one of these first 2 here or lose one there. But I'm fairly confident in this series. You're not going to lose to 84-win Arizona. You can't lose tonight. They certainly should not lose. My buddies and I were texting earlier. I think I said 12-4 or 13-4, some kind of ridiculous number with 2 Schwarbombs in there. I know he's been struggling, so I'm expecting some fireworks. Well, and it's Bryce Harper's birthday, so Bryce got to step it up and see what he can do on his birthday. I'm sure he's good for at least one extra base hit.
Yeah, I expect Harper to play well, but also Brandon Marsh has good career numbers against Zach Gallen, so read into that what you will.
Yeah, Trey Turner, I think, has got a couple knocks against him. Bryce has made 4 for 12 or something along those lines. So we'll see what they can do. No Reese Hoskins in this series, which is probably a good thing. Josh, I once tore my ACL, came back 5.5 months later to play baseball, right around the same age as Reese. I went 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts and left 10 men on base, and then decided my baseball career is now over. I'm going to go into slow pitch softball. So let's wait on Reese till the World Series.
On that note, he is Rob Maaddi from the Associated Press. He will be at the Phillies game tonight. He also covers the NFL year-round for the AP, at Rob Maaddi on the Twitter X platform. Of course, he is the host of the AP Pro Football Podcast. Like, subscribe, download wherever you get your podcasts. And Faith on the Field heard Saturday and Sunday mornings right here on 97.3 ESPN. Rob, enjoy the game tonight.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. Take care.
Josh Hennig here on Game Night, 97.3 ESPN. So Rob thinks it's going to be a pretty big win for the Phils tonight. You'll be able to hear the entire game starting at 7:30 p.m. is the coverage, and an 8:07 first pitch right here on your home for the Eagles, Sixers, Flyers, and all the Phillies postseason run. 97.3 ESPN FM, and you can listen on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app wherever you go, thanks to First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Today on ESPN Radio, the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Philadelphia Phillies go head-to-head in Game 1 of the best-of-7.
The Phillies, for the second straight year, have eliminated the Atlanta Braves, and they're moving on.
Game 1 of the Diamondbacks and Phillies. Coverage begins today at 7:30 Eastern, with first pitch at 8 Eastern.
Listen to Phillies playoff baseball on 97.3 ESPN.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every touchdown, every game, every point, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a 99-yard pass to score a touchdown or a fumble in the first minute of the game. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be present in New Jersey. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
Oh, I love this restaurant. Glad we got a table quickly.
What does that sign say?
Caution, wet floor?
No, right next to it.
If you are 60 or older, you may be at increased risk of serious consequences from RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, compared to adults younger than 60. I didn't know that.
Not all dangers come with warning labels. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about getting vaccinated against RSV today. RSV vaccines, including Pfizer's, are available. Learn more at bewareofrsv.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
I feel bad for the Johnson kids next door. Their parents just use their phone for home internet. So when everyone's online, it could be mad slow. Tom can barely play a full round of Horse Commander 3. Luckily, we get fast and reliable internet from Xfinity, so I can game while everyone's on with basically no interruptions.
Hey, Jess, can I, borrow some eggs?
You want a game here?
Please.
Now through October 17th, get fast Xfinity internet for $50 a month for 2 years with no annual contract, Wi-Fi equipment included, and get a free line of unlimited mobile. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless bill and an autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
Is your home ready for the season? Are you worried about rooms that won't keep you warm in the winter? Call Jenkins Plumbing and Heating today about a new system from American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning or a Mitsubishi ductless system. Take advantage of financing of up to $15,000 from South Jersey Gas or Atlantic City Electric. Save more with rebates from these local utility companies. A new system can save on your utility bills. Call Jenkins at 609-641-6262 or online at jenkinsandsons.com.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free. explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-581-1414. That's 800-581-1414.
It's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, the official sports bar of your Philadelphia Eagles. Here's a winner, fall football, and Chickies and Pete's mouth-watering snow crab legs. For a limited time, buy one and get one free snow crab legs every Tuesday and Wednesday. Enjoy the sweet, delicate flavor of snowy white crab meat dressed in our special blend of seasonings and spices. Pair it with an ice-cold draft beer or one of our signature cocktails. Buy one and get one free snow crab legs every Tuesday and Wednesday for a limited time. Restrictions apply. Chickies and Pete's. Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, and we are prouder than ever to partner with the Philadelphia Eagles. Chicky and Pete's has been named the official sports bar of the Philadelphia Eagles, and we continue to serve as the official caterer of both Eagles training camp and the official caterer of the First Trust Bank Club at Lincoln Financial Field. Go where the players go. The official sports bar of the Philadelphia Eagles, Chickies Beats.
Hey, Birds fans, get your touchdown dance ready because Boardwalk Honda is giving you our hardest hitting savings of the season. You won the coin toss. Elect to defer your payments until 2024 when you lease any new in-stock Honda during the Boardwalk Honda Fall for All. This offer will not go into overtime. Hurry into Boardwalk Honda and score your savings today. And remember, from Maine to Miami, nobody beats a Boardwalk deal. Call 484-246-6754 for offer details.
When my daughter gets a cold, I have a secret weapon. DayQuil Kids Berry from Vicks. DayQuil Kids is specially formulated to treat kids' most bothersome cold and cough symptoms quickly. And the best part is that DayQuil Kids Berry tastes really great. Aren't you supposed to be resting? Maybe.
DayQuil Kids Berry. The kids' berrylicious daytime congestion, coughing, stuffy head, stuffy nose, just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6 years plus.
Hi, I'm Holly O'Neill, Chief Client Care Officer at Bank of America. Each and every day, our employees come to work to make financial lives better. And listening to our customers is how we do it well. From helping with everyday banking needs to life's big milestones, I want to thank my teammates who go above and beyond for our clients.
What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/about. Bank of America NA, member FDIC, equal credit opportunity lender.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. But it's obvious which combo's the best. Sausage biscuit and small seasoned potatoes. Well, maybe it's the fresh cracked egg and cheese biscuit with a medium hot coffee. Or 2 savory sausage biscuits. Whichever you pick, you can't go wrong. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
Go to get your game on at the Gallery Bar Booking Games in Ocean Casino Resort this football season. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Get in on the parlay while in the middle of a party. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screens. Go to the Gallery. Go to Ocean. Go for the win. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now, more Game Night with Josh Hennig, 7.3 ESPN, and the free mobile app.
Don't forget, coming up in about 5 minutes is your last opportunity for today to qualify for the Eagle 49ers tickets giveaway. Mike will give you 4 more chances tomorrow. But each hour of the sports patch and your own Game Night, we give you the key word of the day, and then when we tell you to text in, you join us in 4-3 to qualify. October 28th, live. Now, Eagles and Phillies, Steve and Veteran Jonathan, you agree with that? I would put it 4th from 6th to 7th Phillies to make you feel all better. First of all, I wouldn't move anything. I'm a big believer in that broke offense. Now, if the Phillies lose the next 2 games, the offense is not producing, then I'm shaking up the line. But as of right now, if they're still scoring runs, why would I change it? That's not how I feel. I know Castellanos is ridiculously high last series. But guess what? That last series was last Thursday. That means Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We have days off now from that week to this one. Maybe he's pulled off by now. Who knows? Maybe he's one of those guys goes off. Maybe Trey Turner goes up. Maybe Castellanos goes, 0 for 4 tonight, and then Bowen goes 3 for 4. Baseball, you never know. So I would keep the lineup the same until someone gives me a reason to cheat with a loss. George is the first point time. Josh Washington off the top rate of the wonder. But Coach is good. Yeah, there's other people calls and things were working for the half. I would have thought the Eagles coaches that would have made halftime adjustments to their possible century, especially in North Carolina, who beat them Trump. Well, George, you're 100% right. Here, half the question about what this coach is. I don't think there's enough questions that I'm sitting there worrying about, oh no, what are we going to do? Oh no, what's going to happen? Oh, I don't look at it like that. I look at it more like I'm concerned about the inability to do that. It's a questioning that has to be moved. I think that part of it has to do with Brian Johnson being the offensive coordinator. I think it's coincidence that you have a situation where you're talking about a guy, Brian Johnson, who has been an offensive coordinator, three different spots in college. He spent time as an OC with the University of Utah, University of Houston, and then finally University of Miami. So it's not like it's the first time he's ever called plays at all in his life. The problem is he's never done it in the NFL. And I have to wonder if Brian Johnson doesn't know how to call a game plan that has layers to it, because it feels like he's the one who has trouble adjusting during the course of a game. And I think that Sirianni, maybe Sirianni doesn't feel like he needs to get on Brian Johnson, but I think he does. I think Jordan Summers' point is right. When you watch the Eagles game, you do wonder what's going on here. Where's the adjustments? And it gets back to the conundrum that always happens for sports fans. And that is, we as sports fans, I include myself in this conversation. We're sitting at, we're watching the game with our buddies at his house, or, we're at the local establishment, right? We're at the bar, we're at wherever we're out to watch the game. Wherever you watch the game, when you're sitting with your buddies, you turn to your buddy and you're like, why did he do that? Why did he call that play? Didn't he see, that was a bad idea? Like, when you watching Jordan Summers' point and me watching wherever we're at, when we see the coaches can't see something, it's incredibly frustrating. And I think that is part of the disconnect that happens between people who are in the heart of the action and the fans who are watching, whether in the stadium or on television. Because we see something and then we react and say, man, why didn't the coach do something differently? And I think that the media tries their best to ask questions of the coaches and of players that are what the fans want to hear. But the problem is, I think sometimes because the media doesn't verbalize it well enough, the players and the coaches tend to get, annoyed with some of those questions. And, I would tell any coach or any player, if I had a chance to talk to them, I'd be like, look, how do you reconcile what the people see and what you don't see? You don't need to flower the question out. But all right. Right now, text 609-573-3776. What is the code word? 609-573-3776 and your name, where you're from, and you have a chance with the code word to qualify for Eagles 49ers tickets. You must be present to win. If you're a qualifier, October 28th, Yuri's in Wildwood, where Mike Ellis Sports Bash will be broadcasting live from 2 to 6 p.m. Yuri's, Wildwood, October 28th. Text now, 609-573-3776. What's the code word? I'm Josh Hennig. This is Game Night. Phillies coming up tonight.
Hey, Jen, I just stopped in to say hello, and oh my goodness, look how busy it is in here. How do you get all these customers?
Yeah, this month has been a record breaker for us. For a long time, we had decent business coming in from word of mouth, but we weren't growing. Lately, though, a lot of new folks have been finding us online, and that's made all the difference.
That's terrific, man. I wish I could figure out how to do that for my shop, but I have no idea where to start.
Just do what I did. It's not as hard as you think. Go to mylocalcustomers.com to see exactly how many searches there are for businesses like yours. If you see that there are a good number of clients searching in our area, you'll also get some suggestions for the best way to get their attention.
Do you think there are a lot of people searching for my business?
There's only one way to find out. Go to mylocalcustomers.com. It's quick, easy, and free.
Go to mylocalcustomers.com for a free local customer analysis that will show you how many customers are searching online for your type of business. It's quick, easy, and free. Visit mylocalcustomers.com. That's mylocalcustomers.com.
There's just something about singing our favorite tune that makes us all feel good. Whether or not it makes the people listening to us feel good, well, that's another story. But there's actually solid scientific evidence that proves singing is in fact good for our bodies and our minds. Singing appears to be a stress reliever. A 2017 study found the amount of the stress hormone cortisol was lower after people sung. And when we sing in a group, whether it's a large choir or a small group, the act of collective singing causes our body to release endorphins, which promote positive feelings. Singing may also help our immune response, improve our lung function, boost our mood, our memory, and our mental health. So don't be afraid to belt out a tune. I'm Robin Stowell for Health Update.
Recycling is an easy and important activity you can do every day to help the environment. ACUA reminds you to recycle metal cans, glass jars, cardboard, paper, and accepted plastics. To learn more, visit acua.com or call 609-272-6950.
Your palace awaits. Caesars Palace Online Casino is now live. Download